Hello there. What is going on, everyone? We're talking about X-Wing huge ships. Huge ships are now back in X-Wing 2nd Edition, and this is a great time to be an X-Wing player. They already dropped a bomb on us for Epic Play. If you haven't already, check out my video for Epic Play. I'll put a link to that at the end of the video. But Epic Play is not the same as it was in 1.0. Huge ships are not going to be the same as they were in 1.0, and those two terms aren't the same anymore. So that's actually a pretty cool thing. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about why there's only 2 ships pictured here as opposed to the 5 that are currently available in 1.0, and a lot of other really cool little interesting things. I do want to remind everybody, I did just start a new round of the giveaway right now, so if you'd like to win a $25 Amazon gift card, all you have to do to enter that is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that, and I will announce the winner to that shortly before Gen Con. Speaking of Gen Con, if you happen to be in Indianapolis for Gen Con, come by the FFG booth, say hi. I will be there probably teaching some games. I'll probably be teaching X-Wing at least one of the days that I'm there. But come find me out, and we'll be saying, playing some spaceships and doing some cool stuff. Maybe Legion, maybe some other stuff, maybe Outer Rim, you never know. It's going to be a lot of cool stuff there. And also check out the in-flight brief. I will be streaming that. And so, a lot of cool stuff. Gen Con's also going to have Wave 6 announced. I'm pretty sure they not so subtly teased that we're going to get some even more amazing news at the in-flight brief. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's going to be awesome. Now, with all that stuff out of the way, let's talk about this. First off, there's only 3 ships that are 2 ships that are being shown here. Third one is coming shortly after this, which will be the Imperial Raider. So you're looking at it, the Tanta V4 and the Sea Rock. Okay, well, there's a whole lot more. There's also GR75. There's also Gazantes. What's going on with all of this other stuff? Well, for launch, they're just going to have these 2, and the Imperial Raider will come out shortly thereafter. Okay, so these are still a little ways out. I think they're still predicted as early 2020 right now, but that gives you time to start saving. Now, if you already have all the Epic 1.0 ships, all you'll need is this huge ship conversion kit. You do not have to buy the other ships. From all accounts, it looks identical to the existing 1.0 ships. I will probably at least pick up the Tanta V4 because of the fact that, I repainted mine and it didn't go quite so well, so I wouldn't mind having a second Corvette. There are also reasons to have multiples if you're considering getting multiples, because of the fact that a really cool thing is all of the Epic ships are going to be able to be used in more than one faction. More than one faction. Every Epic ship is going to have a version that can be used in 2 different factions, which is very, very cool. So this way, because right now the game has 7 factions, and it has only 5 Epic ships. And those Epic ships that are out for 1.0 are divided amongst only the Empire, Rebels, and Scum. First Order doesn't have any Epic ships. Resistance doesn't have any Epic ships. The Republic and the Separatists, they don't have any Epic ships. So how do you resolve this? The answer was to make versions of this that carry over into both. And the way that they've done that makes sense, and you'll be able to get all of that stuff in the conversion kit. So we're going to be looking at all of that. So let's go ahead and look at, so here's some things that come in the conversion kit. You're already seeing, look, you can see a Gazanti card up there. So, right, you're going to be able to use your old Gazanti. Same thing if you want to use your old CR90 Corvette. Whether you call it Tantive or Tanta V, it's fine with me. It's actually Tanta V, although I prefer Tantive, but that's not the right way. So I'm trying to train myself to say words properly, even though Star Wars has this notorious history of mispronouncing words, and it drives me crazy. But, well, is it really mispronouncing, or is it just me? I don't know. I know when I'm active, if I'm running, I don't say I'm active-y. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So first thing, we didn't get as much information as I would have liked, but one of the things we're going to notice here is that we can see a couple of the maneuver dials. So let's talk about the maneuver dials. If you notice, energy is not bound to those maneuver dials anymore. So if you do a certain maneuver, all of a sudden, and if you'll notice, there's also white, blue, and red. So, it begs the question, can huge ships get stressed now? Are they, how are actions going to work with them? It definitely seems like you'll want to do green or blue, rather, maneuvers at some point. And then red maneuvers are going to have some type of penalty, it seems. Maybe they will cost additional energy. Maybe there's like some kind of conversion for that as well. So we're seeing different different dials for different ships. We're seeing interesting maneuvers on here as well, because they can do the zero stop maneuver, which you would expect a huge ship to be able to kind of be stationary. But you're also seeing a zero turn, which to me looks like a reposition where you're just kind of going, you're doing something like that as opposed to moving and turning. But that's gonna be really interesting to see how that works. There is going to be a plastic maneuver tool that comes in the conversion kit, as well as each of the ships as well, and that is pretty interesting. They did not tease exactly what that looks like, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of similar to Armada's movement tool, because Armada really got capital ship movement down very, very well. By the way, check out Armada if you're interested in capital ships very much. If that's your forte, there's a whole other game for it that's going to get some news next week, and it's definitely my favorite game of all time. Sorry, X-Wing, Armada's still #1 for me. But this is very exciting because this is bringing a lot of that capital stuff into your X-Wing games, and the minis are huge here, so that's really cool also. So the dials are cool. We've got some new stuff. We've got, it's kind of come with some tokens. We got some interesting upgrades. Now, there's this diamond symbol. We see Ramus and Tilly. So some of our new crew has this diamond symbol, and you're going to see this diamond symbol a lot for the two new articles that were delivered and announced today. And this diamond symbol seems to be something that's kind of tied to these alternative formats, because Ramus has it, and from what we can see in some of the quick build cards, all of the crew seem to have both a crew slot and a crew requirement as well as the diamond requirement. So that leads me to believe they will not be usable in tournament games in hyperspace and extended tournaments, etc., because none of your normal ships have that diamond formation. So I think you're going to have to be playing a scenario or just a cinematic kind of 3x6 epic game. And so I think that diamond is basically the symbol for epic. We're also seeing hard points on our ordnance tubes there. We're seeing the hardpoint symbol that is carried over from 1.0. So hardpoints are back. And a cool thing is they have them on the other side too. So that's kind of a nice way for them to say, hey, you know what, let's maybe just kind of change up the format a little bit. And so, I do expect a lot of things from Epic 1.0 to come back. Ordnance Tubes was a great card and was definitely one of those things that made Epic ships a little bit better in 1.0. And the fact that they're kind of telling you that right now, it tells me, like, having Ordnance Tubes there lets me know that they have learned from their lessons and say, hey, we're going to lead with some of the best stuff from what worked in there and put that foot forward. So very cool. So these ships are going to be able to do multiple attacks too, which if you're spending like 100 points on a ship, you definitely want it to have, or more than 100 points rather, because I'm still in the 1.0 mindset right now. If you're spending over 100 points on a ship, you don't want it to have only one attack, if possible, right? That would be good. Now, if we look at like the ship cards, we can see they have two different numbers where initiative would go. So for our Alderaanian Guard CR90, we've got an 8 and then a 0 next to or below it. Now the 0 has that diamond symbol again, so like it looks very, very similar to our our epic symbol, that our epic diamond has a little symbol in the middle. So it looks to me like that could be a number of different things. That could be initiative if you're playing it in a normal game versus if you're playing it in an epic game. Could be something like that. Might have two different, or it might move and fire at different initiatives too. Let me know what you think that symbol means in the description or in the comments section below. Same thing with the Outer Rim Garrison on the Gazanti. It's a 7 and then a 1, so its numbers are different. And the other thing is there's going to be alternate cards that they can do. So you might not every CR90 will be the same. And we'll talk a little bit about more because they did also tell us all the contents that are going to come in the conversion kit. And instead of giving you the contents of specifically the CR90 or the C-Rock, we'll just go with the conversion kit because that's going to have everything. And so that's pretty cool. And from what else we can see, we've got point defense batteries, ion batteries, dorsal turrets, stalwart captains as Morrigan, different officers and things like that. One of the really, really cool things here is the fact that instead of having to track energy and shields, especially on ships that might be shielded quite heavily, we have this new chart that is tracking shields and energy. Now, at first glance, you might look at this and say, well, wait, why is there two numbers? And it's very cool. You got like the two little rotators on this side, two little rotators on there. First off, this tool here, I love it. I love it. It looks really cool. But it looks like you're basically able to track, 4 different numbers on there. 2 numbers for energy, 2 numbers for shields. My guess is that the number on the left is the tens place and the number on the right is the ones place. So, like, a CR90 might have 20 shields or 19 shields like is shown. And they may even have that much energy. Energy might not be recovered with movement. You might have 20 energy to start the game and that's all you get. Right, and so now you have to think about what your shots that you want to take. Maybe you have a finite amount of shots. Maybe that's why they needed double digits. Or maybe they're tracking independent things. I believe that those two numbers go together. I think that's why they're showing us 1 and 9. I think that's a 19 as opposed to left side and right side. But I could be wrong. I don't think they're going to go so crazy with having like hull zones like Armada does. I think it's just going to allow bigger numbers. And the cool thing about that, I'm going to get into a little speculation here. If I am right that this is just a tens place and a ones place, then this allows for much bigger ships to come out for X-Wing Epic play. Nebulon, I'm looking at you. Yeah, and other big things too. Maybe even a Gladiator Star Destroyer could probably fit in X-Wing. I mean, they can do bigger boxes right now, right? Like the Super Star Destroyer is still way like twice as big as any of these ships, so they can totally do bigger ships for X-Wing than the ones that are already out there. And if this is an indication, maybe that's the direction they're going. I think if they did something like a Nebulon or something like that, it would be significantly shielded. It would probably have 50 shields or something like that on it. And how are you going to track that? Are you going to track that with tokens? No, you're going to track that right there. So that's what I think. I think it's a fun idea. I think especially, or space stations too. Space stations for thematic play. If you're going to run, in the video I did earlier today, they talked about formation flying, and you're having all of these. There's like a dreadnought hunter formation you can put together. And so if you're going to have like 6 TIE fighters all attacking the same target, it stands to reason that you might have ships that have like 50 shields, or 20 at least. So I think that I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the possibilities that are represented here. I think it's pretty cool. So we're getting, they had said at Star Wars Celebration, they first started talking about these. They said there was going to be a redesigned system of movement, and this is good for me. The CR90 that I have is kind of wobbly, and it was not the best stand. So hopefully the stand is, to me, it looks very much the same here. The base is obviously different, but at the same time, the plastic looks very similar. So I'm not sure if this is just like a mock-up or if this is the final version. I'm not sure how much sturdier it's going to be there. I hope they've made changes, and I hope the final product maybe is, feels sturdy. I don't know if this is the final product or not, because we saw kind of in the Ghost for Wave 5, what was on display at Star Wars Celebration was actually like the same Ghost from 1.0. So not sure about that. Also kind of dig this artwork behind the CR90. It's got like a painted red CR90, which is kind of cool. I don't remember seeing that one from anything else right now, but then again, it could be something that I just, am just missing. But this is a standard CR90. As far as the model is concerned, it looks just like the 1.0 model. Comes with a lot of stuff. Another thing that's really, really cool here is you are getting a standard damage deck for everything. Standard damage deck for everything. Every huge ship is just going to use a huge ship damage deck. You're not going to have to worry about 100 different damage decks. That's just awesome. It makes me very, very happy. It makes me happy. Another thing that's kind of cool is you've got 3 different turret markers here, which is kind of cool. And I believe that is going to have a lot to do with how the hard points that you put on. Because like in 1.0, the front half the front section had the turret, and then and you could put different hard points on there. But now it looks like you can put you don't have to put a turret on the front section, but you have the option. And if you want a dual directional or a single directional, you'll have those choices as well. And so I think that's kind of why we have so many different turret indicators. Boy, there's going to be a lot of cardboard to store with all of this stuff too, isn't there? There's a lot of cards on there, but we're going to kind of look through the end stuff because we didn't get it. They're too small, and I'm not going to go crazy with them. Sea-Rock also is, was shown. Honestly, this one just looks a lot like the regular Sea-Rock. So I don't know if there's a whole lot we can say about this one. But, I mean, I think it's the same model. It's also coming with a whole lot of stuff. You are still a little bit of a disappointment that you are still using the same, 2 maneuver tools like snapped together. Like I really wish they could have come up with something better than that, just because that range 5 maneuver tool is so hard to store when you're done, because like everybody's cases usually are built for the size of their ships, and there is, I could never fit that range 5 tool in any of my cases, so it ended up just getting kind of put like upside, leaned up against something or whatever, and it ended up getting like, it's all wobbly, it all bent over right over the top of the 3 where the 3 meets the 4. It's in bad shape. So the range tool, I wish they could have come up with a better solution for that. I don't know, maybe I'll have to get an aftermarket one or something like that, because they just don't hold up very well. So as far as longevity is concerned, they're not going to do too well. And also, if you notice in these spreads, you're seeing the 2 different maneuver dials, because you're going to have 2 different versions for each one. So that is pretty cool. And here, basically, if you go to the product page on Fantasy Flight, you can see all of the stuff that's going to be coming with it. You're going to have 10 ship cards, and that is important because you're going to see a lot of different versions of, every ship can be used in 2 different factions. So we'll talk about that. You're getting a lot of crew. I'm pretty sure these are probably all going to be, I would guess that they're all epic crew that you can't, they're not crew like Palpatine was in the first Raider that you have to use in, I have to buy this because I need this guy for my tournament. I don't think it's going to be that way. You're going to get, now I'm a little annoyed that they only give you, in the conversion, this is for the conversion kit, 1 fire control system. Only 1 of something. That's a little bit weird, because what if you want to use 2, what if I want to use 2 of them? I can't use 2 ships? In 1.0 you could use 2 ships. So that's something. And since they give you 2 of just about everything else, or at least a lot of the other stuff, that really kind of has me kind of scratching my head, like, why would you do that? Why would you only give me 1 of something? 1 heavy laser cannon? Well, I mean, I guess. Oh, because those are normal upgrades. Because those are normal upgrades that, I'm thinking it was a huge ship-specific thing. Never mind. So we're getting some turrets, and we're getting missiles and stuff because they can take those. Crew. Crew is, we've got crew and we've got command crew. Now, the regular crew are going to be interesting, like Torin Farr and Seasoned Navigator and Novice Technician. Torin Farr, specifically, we'll have to see if she is somebody that is going to make, like, is she going to be designed where you want to bring her to a tournament, or is she going to be like, she can go on a regular ship, but maybe she helps out big ships or something like that. Maybe she's thematic, and, we'll have to see. We've got teams, we've got illicits, we've got cargo, but a really interesting thing I want to talk about is the titles, because these titles right over here are cool. We've got this specifically, there's 2 that I think are really cool. It's the Blood Crow up there. Blood Crow was the Gazanti that Thrawn was assigned to in Thrawn. So that is kind of a hint that we'll see Thrawn in X-Wing at some point. So I'm kind of excited about that. And the Corvis. The Corvis right there. Boom. Yes, the Corvis is obviously from Battlefront 2. That was the Raider. That makes me wonder because the Corvis also got redesigned at a certain point too. Like during the course of the game, it gets redesigned. It has that whole new look. It looks very, very slick. It makes me wonder if they're going to, if when the Raider comes out, if they're going to kind of resculpt the Raider to look like the Corvis. I don't think they'd actually do that, but it is a possibility. So there's a couple of new titles, but a lot of the old titles are there as well. And of course, they give us amazing images like this. Like, this is just gorgeous. Like, they're taking, that's one of the things that's so awesome about this game, is that it's so picturesque. It's just it's so pretty. It's really, really pretty. I love it. Now, as far as which ships can be used in which faction, this is also from the article. The CR-90 can be flown by both the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Republic. So you might have thought a CR-90 would have worked for the Resistance because they're still using CR-90s in the time of the Resistance. However, no, because they also, I mean, it's tough because that's a ship that spanned all 3 timelines. But I think for balance's sake, at least right now, CR-90 is... And it was really the same ship in Episode 3 as in Episode 4, but the Tantive V4. So the CR-90 can be flown by the Rebels or the Galactic Republic. The GR-75 medium transport can be used by Rebel Alliance or the Resistance. Now that one, okay, the GR-75 has, I guess, also been around for a long time. There was kind of stinks for the Resistance. They get like the worst ship, right? At least in 1.0, because it had no guns. We'll have to, and that's something I actually really want to see. Let me know your questions down in the comments below, the things that we can ask FFG at the in-flight brief. Is like, hey, so is the GR-75 going to have any guns this time around? Or did the Resistance kind of get hosed with the one ship they can't shoot as their only option? Yes, so the Raider can go... the Raider and the Gazantes can fight for the Empire or the First Order, and that kind of, I guess it makes sense. What else are you gonna do? And then the Sea Rock can fly for Scum or the Separatists. So the funny thing is that the First Order is gonna get like the 2 best epic ships, if we're ranking them according to how effective they were in 1.0, and then. And then the poor Resistance is going to get the worst epic ship. So, I don't know. I think that's pretty funny. But overall, it looks really cool. Now, you're probably looking at this. Like, this is another image from the article, which looks cool. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. There's one thing that's really cool about this particular image that they didn't spoil. Is you can see the new Raider right here in this image. Well, at least its base. You can see the Raider's base. And he has... it has the... It looks like it's very, very similar after the first Raider, where it's got the, the converging forward arcs. It looks like it has, a forward arc and then a side arc that's also pointed forward. So if you get somebody in the front sides, you'll probably be able to take both shots at them. It looks like it has a bullseye arc that starts from the middle or the rear, perhaps. And also, you can see a turret in the front as well. That's underneath the ring, or a turret ring on that one. So that one looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. But as far as the model itself, it still looks like it's the same one. We're gonna have to see though if once we get closer to production, if they make any changes to the actual models here, because they do all look the same. So there really is not going to be any real reason for me to do an unboxing. And if it's just for the quick build cards, I don't know if I can really justify spending $100 just to show you the quick build cards, because I'm gonna have to start a GoFundMe if that's the case. But yeah, anyway, looks good. Very, very exciting. We're just getting these 2 to start, and then we're getting the Raider shortly thereafter. And they did not give us a timeline on a GR-75 just yet, or the Gazantes. So we'll have to see. I wouldn't be surprised if the GR-75 had some of the biggest tweaks, because that's the one that kind of needed it the most. So that's that's our huge ships, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. A lot of cool stuff coming for X-Wing, and even more in a couple weeks at Gen Con. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I also want to thank my patrons. You guys are amazing. So thank you guys so much. And as always, have a great day.